Hello, and welcome to The Voice, the show that amplifies the voice of Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools students, staff, parents, and community stakeholders. I'm Brent Campbell, Chief Communications Officer for Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, and your host. In this late winter edition, we once again leave our studios and head out into the field, this time into a school to take a look at a unique podcast being run completely by our students. We also have a chance to talk with parents who are on the Parent Advisory Committee for the school district. And last but certainly not least, we say thank you to our Board of Education. January is School Board Appreciation Month. January is School Board Appreciation Month. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools would like to thank all members of the WSFCS School Board for the time and energy they share while serving such a vital role in our community. School board meetings are just a small part of the time this dedicated group spends leading the advancement of public education in our community. The job of governing a large school district is enormous, and it is a task these individuals do not take lightly. It just so happens this month also marks the start of this current board's second year of service. Here's a peek into their thoughts on why their role comes with massive responsibility.
The responsibilities are huge, but the honor is even greater, and it just gets better and better. The great part about this board is serving together. I feel like we make great decisions together. I don't feel like I'm on an island with decision making and responsibilities. I think we are a team, we are gelling, and we are in fact a master board. We have finished that training. So I am just thrilled to be here. And if we just keep in mind what's best for kids, then we should be able to work together.
In my personal opinion, serving on a Board of Education is the most important elected capacity that any person can serve in, because the reality is, at the end of the day, the education of young people is the most important thing that we can do as a society to make sure that we have what we need for the future, and that the future population, our future citizens, are equipped with what they need in order to be prosperous and to flourish when they become adults.
What I've learned is that we all may have different perspectives. My perspectives may be different from other school board members' perspectives. So what you have to do is just kind of learn that art of working with other people who may see things different. And you have to understand that even though we may have a different perspective on things, I know that every one of my board peers have a heart for all of the children and all of the staff.
I went through the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. I graduated from R.J. Reynolds High School. My mother taught in the school system. My son went through the school system, and I taught for 19 years in the school system. I think it helps me because I can see all sides of the entire system. I can see it from a student point of view. I can see it from a parent point of view. I can see it from a staff point of view. And I think all of those have input into how our system should run and some of the things we should be doing.
One of the biggest responsibilities I've ever had in my life. I take it very seriously. It weighs on me oftentimes. It keeps me up at night sometimes, but I'm passionate and proud to be able to do it. It's good to hear all the voices, but at the end of the day, you have to make the decision that you can sleep with at night, and ultimately everything will work out.
Whenever you are responsible for children, that comes with a huge amount of responsibility. As far as serving with this board and dealing with that responsibility, it's been fantastic. I think we have people who are really engaged and who take that responsibility seriously. When you're trying to be the best you can educationally for students and also be an optimal place that people want to work, there's a lot of things that have to be considered.
I am a retired teacher, and I was the instructional facilitator at the Career Center. So I'm just trying to bring that experience into this journey. It's about the impact. When you realize that you are having such a good impact on such a large number of students and teachers and families. It's quite rewarding. Well, I just consider this an honor and a great challenge, probably one of the best experiences of my life.
Well, the responsibility is to make our district, I feel, to make our district a better district for all. I think it's been a great benefit for me because I have a lot of prior knowledge, a lot of background in dealing with issues that have come up before the school board, whether we're talking about the code of conduct, we're currently talking about the school bells, we're talking calendar, Title IX, allotments, all those things I'm very familiar with by being in this school district and being in the roles I served. I've learned how to be a better listener, to have patience before I speak, to make sure I've taken in all consideration before I begin to voice my opinion.
It's interesting because we have a board that's 5 and 4. It's a very close as far as the parties are concerned. You've got to have that meshing of the two together and working together with each other, instead of either party or either group seeing, being in opposition to each other. So far, I think we've worked pretty well together. There are some issues on which we disagree and we're never going to agree, but there are a lot more issues on which we agree often, if not almost all the time. And we're going to continue to agree, and that is that kids should be first, children's first.
We appreciate you all. We know that, this is not a full-time job, but I think it becomes that. So I know with all your preparation and everything else. So we do appreciate you and coming here, making hard decisions, and always keeping our kids first in your decisions.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. Show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice, so everyone knows exactly what to do. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
The WSFCS Voice is on the road again in this episode. This time, we're going inside Carver High School, where students are using an entrepreneurship class to amplify their voice with a podcast.
Miss Campbell, today I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Evelyn, a senior here at Carver, was one of the interviewers in the podcast just a minute ago. So tell me, Evelyn, from your perspective, what do you like about this?
I like that I can, be myself. We have to be ourselves in the podcast because that way, everybody watching it gets a good view of our personality. So, and then it also kind of just makes me be out of my comfort zone. Like talking in front of the camera. So
this is an entrepreneurship class, so most people would be like, you wouldn't think podcast or entrepreneurship class, you would think some other kind of business. Why do you think you guys went with podcast?
Well, because it's a very trendy thing right now. When we were thinking about an idea, we were just like, podcast, YouTube, that's the main thing going on right now, So that's what we were focused on. Instead of just everybody having their own business, it's a class, they do a podcast for school.
So I'm sure you've thought about this as you've been putting together the podcast, and that is topics and things that students are talking about. What are some of the topics you guys have discussed, and what are some of the things students are talking about?
We talked about, homecoming, football, basketball, soccer. Our soccer year has been really great. What else? The cheer team, the dance team. We just talk about mostly things that go on with the students that are really like something that just impacts us as students. We want to know their opinions as well, so that way we can work on it.
Welcome back, Carver Nation. I'm Ramon, your host, and we're here with Kanaya.
I'm with junior Kevion King here at Carver High School. So Kevion, tell me a little bit about this podcast from your perspective.
So a lot of this podcast, we've done a lot of interviews from teachers to coaches to the students, and it's to give them a voice and maybe a perspective that they might not see from Carver High. We've had a past of, very bad things, and I just want to shed light on all the good that we do have here at Carver.
What are some of the topics that you guys have discussed in the podcast?
We had topics on sports as far as our soccer team, football team, homecoming, cheerleaders, doing some things in Carver. I want to say we've had CTE as well, and also just trying to see what they can do for us, see what we can do for others. We also had fundraisers to raise money for the athletic department, things like that.
Have you been surprised by what people have said about it, or have people commented on the podcast?
Yes, so surprisingly, we've had a decent amount of views for a scored podcast, I would say. It was a little shocking because I wasn't expecting to actually be in a podcast, as this is my first year here. So it was kind of a different change in environment, changing different people. So it was new to me as well, learning different people's names, learning what people do, teachers, stuff like that.
And is this class helping you?
Of course, yes. It's helping me not only with my personal self-esteem, just being comfortable on and off camera, confidence boost, stuff like that. So I definitely say it is beneficial for the CTE program and the things that they're doing with this podcast.
All right, thank you so much,
No
Kevin.
problem.
I appreciate it. So we're inside Carver High School with entrepreneurship teacher Kimberly Xander Scales. Tell me a little bit about what we've been watching.
Okay, right now students here we're in Entrepreneurship 2 class. In Entrepreneurship 1, the students are learning how to do a business plan. Entrepreneurship 2, the curriculum requires them to do an actual business model. So the business model the students selected was going to be a podcast where they have to market themselves, and then the decision came about with marketing for the athletic department was the fundraising piece of the business model.
So tell me some of the topics that they've been really focused on. I'm sure that's probably kind of got your interest too.
Yes, the first thing was to figure out costs, right? So they had to do a cost structure. They had to analyze what's the key matrix and who are they going to advertise to, what our target market is, and the reason why. The why was to bridge the gap between the students and parents. We want more parent involvement, and this is what we're hoping to gather with the podcast. And of course, to get more community involvement from the local teachers, staff, ex-Carver students who are out there, alumni, to be a part of Carver Nation.
Have you been impressed with what they've done and what they've come up with?
Awesomely impressed. This class is only about 7 students, right? With those 7 students, I was able to get them to be able to be producers, videographers, editing, knowing how to talk and get building confidence in their communication skills, everything they need to be successful in the future and moving forward in career technical jobs.
So to me, maybe not to you, but to me, it says something that they chose podcast. It says something about what students' minds are, where their minds are today.
Yes.
That's something important to them. What does that say to you?
It says to me that they're engaged with what's current, right? They want to be engaged with what's going on now. So podcasting is huge, and this is why they chose it.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. Show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice, so everyone knows exactly what to do. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The Parent Guardian Advisory Committee was an idea of some of the school board members as well as Superintendent McManus. They started at the end of last school year and had about 700 applicants. Out of that, roughly 50 or so were chosen for this annual commitment. Now, this is the 4th meeting of the committee for this year. Let's take a look inside and hear a little bit about what they're talking about and the issues that are important to them.
And so we're trying to start to bring some stuff back and make those central decisions. So, because I hear from parents all the time, well, why is this school this and why is this school this?
Joining us is Tiffany Couch, a parent of 3 students in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools and a member of the Parent Guardian Advisory Committee. Tell me, first off, Tiffany, why you wanted to be a part of this group.
I wanted to be a part of the group to be a voice for the parents, to be an advocate, somewhat of a liaison, so that both board and school administrations and staff can all come together on like one accord to just have the betterment of our children for various school purposes, teachings, classroom management, all various things, just so we can all be on the same page.
So what do you think? This is, I think, meeting 4 for you guys. What do you think of it?
Well, I'm loving it. I have gotten a lot of insight on some things as well as giving input. It's been an eye-opener to some things where you're not knowing what's going on in the background and, behind the scenes. So being a part of this this group has helped to kind of not make so many assumptions and, kind of be like, okay, well, I understand why they're doing this and why there may be a little hold up on this part or whatever. So it's helped to give the, drawing a blank, the school system, school board, help to give them their voice as well, so that we as parents don't just be so quick to make assumptions about things.
And what are some of the topics that have been important to you that you guys have talked about?
One main one was the student safety procedure and the protocol, kind of helping kind of give a background on that as to, for instance, why there aren't like metal detectors and stuff like in every school. It was because it wasn't, supplied to every school. So they have to do it in a routine manner or whatever, but it still is a top priority to the board. Another one was like their testing procedures. And another one was like, I forget what the other one was, but also just the fact of them getting our input as well. So we gave a lot of our concerns, and because some parents had like concerns of like the bus routes and various things like that, the locations and the placements and stuff, zoning. They were having concerns about like the zoning and stuff. So that was a good eye opener of how those are, how the procedures are for that. So it was a lot of good eye opening things that were given.
So it sounds like to you, you've gotten something out of it and it's important. Is that fair to say?
Yes, and it's just helped overall to give both a better perspective from the board to see the parents, and then perspective for the parents to see what's going on behind the scenes for the board, so that on both sides we're not so quick to make the assumptions. So so far I've been enjoying it. Very big eye opener, very big educational purposes too. Like you're learning a lot. So I enjoy it. I encourage all parents to, whenever the application comes around again, I encourage all parents to give it a try, because it will open your eyes and just give you an overall perspective, better perspective of things, of how you guys operate.
And build relationships, because I got to meet you in this too.
Yes,
So
we did. Yes.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Yes, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
So over time, school said, if I can adjust my schedule just a little bit more, I can get more instruction time. Or if I can adjust my school and go 5 minutes early, I can get parents in earlier.
Joining me now is Derek Lee, a parent also on the Parent Guardian Advisory Committee, and you've got 2 students in the district. So tell me, Derek, why did you want to be a part of this committee?
I think getting parent feedback is like one of the best ways to improve the school system. I mean, I think like the school system is doing a great job, but like hearing directly from parents, their concerns, their worries, things they'd like to see better, just from like learning about clubs that students have opportunities to join, knowing when hearing from teachers on a more frequent basis, concerns about safety and security. I think parents have a lot of things to say, and like rather than just like bicker among ourselves or like talking at the store, why not talk to people who can make a difference?
What's been some of the topics that have struck you or that you were maybe most interested in?
I think some of the things I was most interested in was like over testing. Like it seems like every other week my kids are getting some sort of check-in quarterly test. And I felt like that was often getting in the way of more creative projects. And so my kids are in the Brunson HAG program. And like one of the things, we were told was like, we're going to do a lot of like hands-on creative projects. But when you're on the computer all the time taking tests, I was wondering like, aren't those 2 things in conflict? So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Anything else or any other thoughts? This is what I think your 4th meeting as a committee. Any other thoughts as you move forward through this process?
I just hope you keep doing this as much as possible. I know that like sometimes I can't make it every single month, but I think if you have it over the course of the year, I try to make it as much as possible. I'm running late today, but I want to go in and see what they're talking about. And I think having an ear to parents' concerns is important.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Brett.
Appreciate it.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. Show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice, so everyone knows exactly what to do. Go to ready.gov/fire drill and learn how to prepare your family.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
And that wraps up another edition of the WSFCS Voice. We again want to say thank you to our school board for their time, dedication, and commitment to our school district. And we also want to say thank you to our parents and students that gave their voice to this edition.